Well, good afternoon. Earlier today I received the independent report from PwC on their investigation into the recent leak of the National Party travel expenses. The report states that the evidence identified points to Jamie Lee Ross as being the person who sent the anonymous text message. I am releasing that report today. John Billington QC has independently assessed the investigation report. It is his opinion that on the balance of probabilities, the evidence establishes that Jamie Lee Ross was the person who leaked the expenses and the sender of the text message. I accept both the investigation report and the opinion of Mr. Billington. Earlier today, I visited Jamie Lee Ross with Paula Bennett and explained to him the report and the opinion of Mr. Billington and gave him an opportunity to respond. I was not satisfied with his explanation. I also discussed with Jamie Lee other matters concerning his conduct that have come to my attention and suggest, together with the leak, a pattern. I informed Jamie Lee that tomorrow the investigation report and Mr. Billington's opinion will be presented at a meeting of the National Party's Caucus, along with the other matters. The Caucus will be asked to consider all relevant matters, including his membership of Caucus. Finally, you'll recall Jamie Lee recently took leave from Parliament given personal health issues. This action is completely separate. I did not know what the investigation report would contain when those matters were addressed in recent weeks. Today I've taken steps to ensure that Jamie Lee has the necessary support around him at this time. The step that I've taken today is not made lightly. I'm balancing the health issues with the considerable public interest in the outcome of the investigation.
Did you ask him to resign from the National Party?
No, these now are matters for the National Caucus tomorrow. I think suspension is an option.
Would you look at expelling him?
That's not something that I, in a sense, am considering. These are matters for the caucus tomorrow, and I wouldn't want to preempt where they go.
Jamie Lee Ross has sent a series of tweets saying that you're going to pin his leak inquiry on him because he cannot find out who the actual leak is, that you're attempting to use contacts as evidence that he is somehow involved. He does not think this is true. He says he's fallen out with you, he's been questioning your leadership decisions and personal obligations. Is this some kind of vendetta?
Look, I think he would say those things, given the situation that he is in. I'm not surprised, frankly, by the false comments that he's making. Now, I've released the report. You will be able to see it. The public will be able to see it, and it speaks for itself.
He said that he's recorded you discussing with him unlawful activities that you're involved in. What do you say to that?
As I say, I'm not surprised that he is lashing out. He's wrong.
Have you been involved in any unlawful activity around electoral donation?
Absolutely not.
Do you know
He
what
is
you're
wrong.
talking about with that?
I've made my comments. He is wrong. He is lashing out. Today, I put out the report. It is there and it speaks for himself, and that's why he's saying these false things.
How about when you say on as an MP now? If you're standing here saying he's publicly talking?
I think the reality is these are now matters for the National Party Caucus. Today, I've done what I think I have to do, and that is put the report out there for it to be assessed and digested. Tomorrow, the caucus will consider both the investigation report, the opinion of the QC, and as I say, the pattern of conduct.
What are the other matters over his conduct, and do they involve other entities?
I'm not going to go into those. It's now really a matter for caucus.
Are you personally certain that he is the leak?
I am relying and accepting a forensic report that states a conclusion by PwC, and then an opinion from John Billington QC. I can do no better than say I accept them, and I think now these are in the public domain so that the public and you can make an assessment of them.
Did
Why did you
somebody
make
indeed
them
come to
all
you with a complaint about them?
No.
Why did you make amendments to your personal election donation return?
Can you say it to me again, sorry?
Why did you remove two donations from your personal electoral return?
For the simple reason that there was a clerical mistake. There's both party and candidate expenses. Candidates should have been party. We sought the advice of the Electoral Commission and made the change.
Are you concerned that there's been a second leak to the media of this information?
Look, no. I think the reality is what I'm dealing with today is the result of a single member of Parliament.
Has he been deliberately undermining you in conjunction with anyone else?
Well, I'll let you draw your conclusion on that.
Do you think he's been undermining you to replace you as leader with someone else?
I will let you draw your conclusions on that. Today, I've put out an investigation report and I'm relying on a QC's opinion and that's what I'm doing today.
Were you aware of complaints to the National Party hierarchy about Jamie Lee Ross, about his behaviour, bullying and erratic behaviour to his electorate?
I'm not going to go into any allegations in relation to Jamie Lee Ross in relation to his conduct. I am taking to Caucus tomorrow a leak report, a QC's opinion, and I believe a pattern of conduct.
Why are you
Party
waiting
board
to
already
take...
aware of? Are the party board already aware of those matters?
I have briefed them just earlier today, literally in the last hour.
Were they aware of complaints against your index?
I'm not aware of that.
Is there a recording of you discussing information?
I am not aware of that.
Why are you
And
waiting to
certainly I reject any allegation of the sort in terms of unlawful activity. It's simply not true. As I say, this is not a surprise given where we are. The report here speaks for itself.
And you are personally certain that Jamie Lee Ross is the leader?
My position is very clear. I have an investigative report. I have an opinion that make conclusions. Those are what I rely on and I accept.
Why are you waiting to take this to Caucus? You could, as leader, stand here and say he's gone.
Because ultimately this isn't about me. This is about 56 members of Parliament and the National Party, and it's right that we have a proper discussion. These matters are for Caucus to consider. As I say, they will consider the matters that are relevant to them, and there are a bunch of options that they have.
This is about your leadership, though. This whole thing is been about your leadership.
I would make the point to you, actually, I feel very strong in my position. I feel I have the confidence of my caucus. This is about a single member of Parliament.
So why not take a decisive step?
Well, I think we are. Today you have a report in front of you to assess. I've made clear what the situation is in relation to that, and I am taking them to the proper place for them, and that is for caucus tomorrow.
You've now essentially hung Jamie Lee Ross out to dry. What if he's not the leader? Does he have any right to appeal? How does he fix his reputation?
I've done no such thing. What I have done is commission, or had the National Party commission a report. It has done a thorough investigation, it has drawn conclusions, and a QC has also drawn conclusions on the basis of
How much
that.
did it cost?
I don't know, I've literally received the report today.
And is it coming out of your leader's budget? Or
We have not decided that yet.
Does the report deal with this other conduct? So will your caucus, presented with the report, see details of this other alleged conduct and this behaviour?
I can be no clearer than what I have said, which is that I will be taking the PwC report, the QC's opinion, but we will also be having a discussion on all relevant matters, which includes, as I say, a pattern of conduct.
So that's not in his report. The other conduct not dealt with.
Correct.
by PwC.
You're absolutely correct.
Do you think that Jamie Lee Ross wanted to be leader?
Look, I don't know. I'm not going to get into speculation and hearsay about what may or may not be going on there. What I know is that the work has been done. The report and the QC's opinion that I rely on are clear. People will be able to see them, and I am taking those to caucus tomorrow.
back on your leadership, do you think you have full confidence in your caucus?
Yes, I think what we've got here are the actions of a single Member of Parliament. And I think the report that people will be able to see indicates that.
I mean, if you're wanting to stand here and say, I'm the leader of this party, wouldn't it look decisive to say Jamie Lee Ross is gone? Because this is incredible undermining. These tweets we've seen coming out 5 minutes before the press conference.
They are not powers that I have. The reality is it's Caucus who decides these matters. Suspension is definitely an option tomorrow.
Newshub has now received 3 leaks from National undermining your leadership.
Yeah.
How can you say that the leadership is safe when you're constantly being undermined?
Well, I think the reality is you will see in the report what it says about that. I feel very confident in my leadership. What we have here are the actions of a single Member of Parliament.
Is it ironic that you voted against the walker jumping legislation, given if Jamie Lee Ross leaves the National Party, he could still stay on? He could have stayed on as an MP for Botany.
No, I disagree with that law, and we have all the appropriate tools and measures as a caucus that we need.
So you would be supportive of him staying on as an independent MP for Botany?
Look, we're going to have a discussion, and I'm not going to preempt where that gets to tomorrow.
Just back on these donations, what is the cathedral plan?
Look, I'm not going to go into those because the reality is this. They are party donations. I am not going to talk about party donations. But the situation here is simple. We have scrupulously complied with all the rules, all the transparency here, and there is nothing inappropriate whatsoever in relation to these donations.
So why won't you tell us what the cathedral plan is?
Because I'm not going to overstep the mark that there is between myself as both a candidate and a Member of Parliament and the National Party proper when it deals with party donations. There is a demarcation between us, and I'm not going to set a precedent of overstepping the mark there.
David Ferris says this is just a club of people that pay to hear from MPs. What's so wrong with not being upfront about that if that's the case?
As I say, that's absolutely may well be the case, but I'm not going to talk about party donations because there's a precedent there that I'm not going to set.
Is it correct that you've already talked to people about it on the by-election?
No, it's not. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it.